out at Quest Software. Would you like to highlight an example of where you've seen some fantastic activity happening in zero trust architecture?
Sure. I think from our perspective, we've been on that journey for some time. We work with several agencies on improving their zero trust architectures, especially from a deployment standpoint. And a lot of time that focus has been at the perimeter. How do we lock down? How do we protect ourselves from unauthorized access? And what we learned is that, sure, we can build those systems and we can provide those systems. We can have role-based access, even attribute-based access, and we can protect the perimeter. And what we found is that during our migration process with one large DoD agency, we helped them on the journey of getting from on-prem to hybrid and in a lot of cases, pure cloud native. So moving AD and SharePoint workloads into the cloud, optimizing first, then getting them to migrate. And then once we got there, we realized that, well, okay, how are you actually protecting that literal data? And what they discovered was they didn't know where that data was. They didn't understand the data sets. And to me, that's the honeypot at the end of the hacker rainbow. What data can I exfiltrate from an agency? And if an agency doesn't know where their data is, who has access to it, well, the morning after report's pretty painful because you can't tell what they took. It's like you come home, your house is robbed, and like, did we have a flat screen or was it an Xbox? So knowing that is critical. So we help them identify where is your data, who has access to it, build a metadata, so like the data of data repositories, so they can understand exactly where they need to apply RBAC to, whether it's a file, whether it's a container, whether it's a bucket somewhere. All those things need to have zero trust principles applied to it. And I think it was a painful journey because they didn't really want to think about it because they're security heads. If you really talk to someone who's into security, the last thing they want to talk to is a DBA or SharePoint administrator because that's not their role. They don't want to think about that. They've locked down the fort. Everything's fine. But when we showed them that if someone just got in, for instance, if Microsoft didn't find the XZ hack, for instance, and they just slipped in and got the data, well, what was exfiltrated? So we helped them understand exactly where that data is, how to manage it, and then determine who should have access to that data. And that's where all those great zero trust technologies come in real time, and it makes developers a little painful, but they get through it. But that's the most important thing we've been working on in DoD. And
it's a very good catch.